Hey guys, Rebecca here for a look at the February 2022 budget plan. We are going to plan out February, but if you've been following me on the channel recently, you know that there is a lot of big life changes happening. I'm selling this house, in the process of buying another. As of right now, the tentative closing date is February 7th. And there is a lot that I don't know yet. I don't know how much cash I'm going to need to close. I haven't even listed that in the budget. I'm hoping that I will find out later on this month. I'm filming this actually on January 9th, so a little bit early in January, but I do kind of want to take a look ahead and go ahead and start planning out February because of all of the things that are happening. So when we take a look at this budget, just keep in mind that it is likely going to look very different at the end of February when we do the budget review. So everything here is going to need to be taken with a big grain of salt. With that warning out of the way, let's jump in and take a look at what I've got. All right, so here we are looking at my February 2022 budget, starting at the top with my net income. As usual, I'm expecting to bring in about $41.50 for the month of February. We'll see what actually happens. I do also carry over some money from January into February that I use, and I know that I'm going to have some amount of money that I will carry over. I just don't know how much yet. Again, because it's still pretty early in January, so I can't really forecast how much I'm going to carry over. Really, right now, I am just kind of hoarding as much cash as possible because I don't know about closing costs. I don't know about what I am going to have to fix for my new house. If anything, I have submitted a repair request based off of the inspection report that I got for the new house that I'm wanting to buy. And I still haven't heard whether or not the sellers of that house are going to handle all of those repairs or if that's something I'm going to have to do. So I'm just saving as much cash as possible. But I have no idea how much cash I'm going to end up with at the end of January. So y'all, this is gonna have to be a very flexible budget for me. But in general, I do think that budgets should be flexible for anyone. So it's a good thing to keep track and have a plan, but my plans constantly change throughout the month. And that's okay, in my opinion. They can change as much as they need to. Looking at the bills and spending section, even here, I am not sure if I'm gonna need to make the mortgage payment for this house in February. If I do, it'll be the usual $536, but I'm not sure if I'm gonna have to do that or not. So I'm planning for it for right now, but this is the weirdest budget planning video that I think I've ever made on the channel because there's so much I just don't know. Same thing again with my power bill and water bill for this house and the internet, all of the things that are associated with owning this home. I'm not sure if I'm gonna have to pay those in February or not. And if I do, it's only gonna be for a partial month, right? If I end up closing on the 7th like we plan for right now, then it'll only be a partial month expenses. But my closing date is also tentative, so that could be changed or pushed back or maybe even earlier, but I doubt that. It would probably be pushed back if anything. So yeah. I am budgeting like I usually do for a regular full month here in this house, but we'll see what actually happens. Gym, that is one thing that I know that will be the same. I'm a member of Planet Fitness, that will be $23.06. Gas for my car, I'm budgeting $250 there. I have a feeling I'll probably go over that, only because if I do start moving things between this house and the new house on my days off, I'll probably go through more gas than $250, but we'll see. I may also just end up renting a U-Haul and moving everything down to the new place at once. Again, we're gonna have to see where things fall when it comes to an actual closing date and when I can move. Groceries and household, I'm gonna budget $500 there. Again, we'll see how that goes. I am a chronic overspender when it comes to groceries and household. This pretty much is just my miscellaneous category. If I go out shopping for anything, it lands in this category. The last thing I know I'll need to account for is tax preparation. I do have a CPA, and if I remember correctly from last year, I think it was about $200 to have her do my taxes for me. So I'm planning on doing that in February. I could push it back to March, might do that, just depending how things go for February. So in total, right now, I have budgeted to spend about $1,800 for the month, but that can and will very likely change. Moving down into the debt section here, I don't know why debt disappeared there, but there we go. I only have one debt left right now, the car that I have, and again, I'm planning on making my $500 payment like usual, but I might be able to pay the car off in February. We'll see how that goes as well, because I am hoping to use the equity from this house to pay off my car and make some changes to the new place, and also possibly have extra money left over for investing. We'll see how everything goes. I feel like this is just the weirdest budget plan video I have ever made. There is so little that I know for sure, but it can't be helped. And honestly, I really don't think that things are going to change a whole lot between now and the end of January. I think there's just still going to be a lot that is unknown until after the closing happens with me selling this house and buying the other one. Then I will be able to see how things shake out and hopefully have some better numbers for you guys by the end of February. I will also do a separate video just going over the finances of selling this house and buying the other one, so stay tuned for that too. My last section down here is the investing and fire tracking section of the budget, and this one again, I am still a little unknown how this is going to go, because depending on how much money I get from selling this place, I could max out my Roth IRA for 2022 all in one go, but I'm not planning for that right now. I'm just going to sit on as much cash as I can until I figure out how all of this home buying selling situation settles. And even my retirement account at work, my 403B, I'm not exactly sure how much I am going to have taken out of my check there and how much my employer will match, because I have not had one single regular paycheck since we got our raises in November, and we had another raise in September of last year. I have always either had overtime, bonus pay, or vacation hours on my paycheck. And when I have vacation hours on my paycheck, I don't get my third shift differential, I just get my base rate of pay. So all of my paychecks have been different than what they would normally be. So I'm not exactly sure how much is going to come out towards retirement for my paychecks in February, estimating about $600 for my portion and $225 for my employer match. That makes the total for the month as of right now $825 towards investing. Hopefully it's a lot more if things settle out well from me selling this house and buying the other. I gave you a quick update for where I'm at as far as buying the new house, waiting to hear about repairs from the inspection report. Update for me selling this house is that I got a lot of offers on this place after it was listed active on the market for one single day. If y'all have been following me on Instagram, I did post a little bit over there about that. My home was active one day on the market. I had 6 showings and I had 4 offers by the end of the day on the first day that it was active. 3 of the 4 offers were over my asking price. So I was thrilled with that, absolutely floored with all of the interest that I had in this house. And the offer that I did end up accepting, everything is still in process there as well. They are having a home inspector come and do the inspection on this house in a couple of days. So depending on what the home inspection shows, you know, I'm not sure what the final sale price for this house will be either. So everything is up in the air for this budget planning video. Honestly, I could have just had the whole thing blank and just said, I don't know how it's gonna go, and filled it in as the month went along, because I don't know how it's gonna go, y'all. it is likely going to look very different from what we're planning here, but at least planning for how the month usually goes, I have an idea of how much money I would have left over at the end of the month. And I should have about $1,850 left over at the end of the month if the month goes as normal, which it could if things end up getting pushed back farther than the February 7th closing date. So we'll see. Either way, this is definitely going to be an interesting month for me, so I hope y'all will stay tuned and see how it plays out. All right, guys, I hope that you enjoyed the sketchiest, weirdest budget planning video that I have ever made on YouTube. This is just going to be a very interesting month for me financially. I know come the end of the month, it will be really awesome to see where the chips fall. So I hope that you'll stay tuned, see how February goes, and keep an eye out for the financial video that I'll make, just going over all of the home buying and selling expenses, all of the financial details of what I sell this house for, what I end up buying the new place for, all of the repairs and things that I might need to make for the new place, all of the remodeling that I want to do. That's going to be a detailed video. So once I know these things, then I'll make that video. If you want to make sure that you don't miss it, then don't forget to subscribe down below, tap the notification bell, and YouTube will tell you when I upload new videos. Sorry that this one is just so strange and there's so much unknown about the month, but it can't be helped, y'all. This is what happens when you make big life changes. So I am hoping that eventually in 2022, I will have some sort of set routine. Life will settle down for me and things will go back to being boring. The last 2 years have been anything but boring. So I'm ready for a little bit of normalcy and simplicity. Hey everybody, Editing Rebecca here. Yes, I am wearing the same shirt that I filmed this video, just a coincidence. I have some updates for you as promised about the home buying and selling process that I am going through. I filmed this video to plan out the February budget on January 9th. I am editing it on the 24th, and I do have a few updates. There's a lot that's still unknown, but since I was so late actually getting this video posted, I wanted to give you guys the updates that I do know. The original plan was to film a few videos and get them scheduled onto YouTube before my boyfriend came over from Sweden for a couple weeks, but life was so crazy, I didn't get that done. So now I'm going back and looking at these videos that I've filmed before he got here a couple weeks ago, and I just need to update you guys with the current information that I know, rather than refilming these videos all together. That is too much work and I ain't gonna do it. So here's what I know about the home buying and selling situation. Most of what I said in this video is still true. There's just still a lot that I don't know for sure, mainly what my out-of-pocket closing costs are gonna be. So the plan still is for me to sit on as much cash as possible. Granted, I did do some spending while the boyfriend was here, but you know, no regrets there. He came all the way from Sweden, so yes, I'm gonna spend some money and enjoy that time together and not worry too much about YouTube or selling this house and buying the other. Anyway, here's what I do know. My closing date is still February 7th, and I still don't exactly know what my out-of-pocket closing costs are gonna be for selling this house or buying the other one for that matter. I do have some updates on the inspection, both for the house that I'm buying and this house. So I had this house inspected last week, or maybe even longer ago. And they also did a termite inspection and a septic tank inspection as well. And if y'all have been following me on the channel for a while, you know I actually did have some termites in this house in April of last year, and you know, immediately treated the house and haven't seen any termites since then. But they've done all of these inspections on my house and I have heard nothing as far as the inspection reports go. So it makes me think that there must not be anything majorly wrong with this house that they found, because I'm thinking I would have heard by now. I know when I got the inspection done on the house that I am buying, I got the report the next day, and The day after that, I had already submitted my repair request to the sellers of that house. Now, it took them a little while to figure out what they were going to fix and what they were just going to give me a credit for, but I haven't heard anything about what the buyers of this house would like for me to fix, if anything. So that makes me think that the inspections that they had done must have been okay for the most part. As far as the house that I am buying, there were several things that the inspector found for that place. There is a spot in the roof that is leaky. There's some plumbing issues and there's some electrical issues and other minor things around the house that were wrong. And the sellers are going to take care of all of the electrical issues and some of the minor things that the inspector found. They are giving me a $500 credit towards closing costs for that house for me to get the roof leak taken care of. They didn't want to deal with that. And they are taking care of some of the plumbing issues, but not all. And really, I'm okay with that because I'm wanting to do a lot of remodeling in the kitchen and the bathrooms, and that's where the plumbing issues were. So they took care of some of the more major plumbing issues, but the minor stuff they left for me, and I don't care about that since I'm changing things anyway. And checking my notes here because I didn't want to forget to tell you guys anything, but this is a big thing that I actually am considering for the new house. The thing that I think I will miss most about this house versus the house I'm buying is that the new house does not have a garage. So I have options here, and something occurred to me actually a couple days ago, and I'm heavily considering doing it. I have two choices. One, I could cheap out and get a cheaper garage, just a one-car garage to store my car and have a little bit of extra storage space for the new house. Or I could spend some extra money, make a nicer one-car garage that's a little bit larger, and build a apartment above the garage that I could then rent out for some income. Now, I have never had an interest in becoming a landlord or using real estate to get to FI, really, at least as far as being a landlord is concerned. But given that the area that the new house is in, I think that I could get some pretty good monthly rent out of the place. In fact, I'm thinking that if I went through with this, I could probably get enough rent from the apartment above the garage to cover what my mortgage payments are going to be for the new house. So it seems like it might be a decent house hack idea to go ahead and use the proceeds from selling this house towards building a nice garage with an apartment above it that I could then rent out. If I do that though, I will not be able to pay off my car, likely, but I could still aggressively work on paying off the car. I just wouldn't be able to do it all in one go from selling this house if I decide to make an apartment above the garage that I build at the new place. So these are the things that I am weighing here. I'm not sure what is going to be worth it or not. Also, I mean, it's January 24th right now, and if you've been paying attention to the markets at all, things are red. We're struggling a little bit. So if I decide to go through with this garage apartment build, then that would mean I would have less money left over at the end of all of this that I could potentially just throw into the markets. And if the markets stay down, then that would be an opportunity cost there. So I'm not really sure what I should do in this situation. And if y'all have ever landlorded, or if you have gone the real estate path to FI doing this, then let me know your thoughts down below. This was a very long update for the house situation, but it is what it is. I didn't want to film a whole nother video discussing this. So yeah, that is where we stand. That will cover it for what I know about February so far and where I'm at with buying and selling this house. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you'll stay tuned to see where all of this ends up. If I do decide to build this garage apartment, then of course that's going to go on the channel too, and I'll discuss costs and rent income and all of the numbers with you guys, because that's what I do. And I really think that that could be yet another solid boost on my FIRE journey. So yeah, hope you guys will stay tuned to all of these life changes that I've been going through, and I'll catch you in my next video. Bye y'all.